Is there anyone that thinks Miami doesn't sweep the Bucks?
No, I have them sweeping.
After last night, I don't know if you saw, but Brandon Jennings rolled his ankle. He might not even play in Game 1.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I'm saying
Jennings, they weren't winning a game either.
I'm just saying, arguably their best player probably won't even play in the first game. Even without that, I agree.
The best player
He's
couldn't
still
hold
getting
a
swept.
towel for the Heat right now.
I would take Brandon Jennings at my point over Mario Chalmers.
Listen,
but
I would too.
Any which way,
I would take Monta Ellis at the point over him.
Milwaukee's not beating Miami a single game in the series unless Miami decides they want to let them beat them in a single game in the series.
I agree.
Like, you never know. Miami might say, hey, let's lose Game 1 and make everybody get nervous about us.
No. Well, the Heat sweep. There's just, if they don't sweep, I would seriously question them.
They've actually struggled against Milwaukee this year. I mean, it's the playoffs, so it's a different mentality. It's a different effort level. It's not the same as a regular season game when it doesn't mean as much. But
yeah. So I just wanted to kick that one to the curb already, just because I figured there really wasn't much to talk about in that series to begin with.
No, there's not.
The Heat are going to dominate.
Let's be honest here. I mean, I think we're all still in agreement. We have OKC Miami rematch in the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, that's pretty much the,
that's the
consensus pick for what we're going to see come out of the NBA Finals. But, yeah. No, I don't see Milwaukee winning a game. They have nobody that's going to stop LeBron, nobody that's going to stop D-Wade, nobody that's going to stop Bosh. Now Miami with Ray Allen out there shooting as well as Shane Battier and, Mario Chalmers and Rashard Lewis. And, yeah. So, we all got Miami sweeping, I guess. That's an easy conversation. So, we'll put that one to the curb. Now you got Knicks Celtics, Hawks Pacers, Bulls Nets. Where do we want to dive?
Let's dive right into your Bulls Nets.
Want to dive into the Bulls Nets? Well, Bulls win last night, gives them the 5 seed. But Atlanta's D-League team couldn't beat the Knicks D-League team last night anyway, so the Bulls still would have ended up with the 5 seed. So it takes a little bit away from the win. Chicago did take 3 out of 4 against Brooklyn this year. They match up well with each other. Chicago really doesn't have anybody that can stop Darren Williams. But at the same time, they match up really well with,
they would have
Humphreys
somebody who
and
can
Lopez.
stop.
Yeah,
Williams.
well, I'm tired of talking about him in that scenario. So whenever he comes back, whether it's this year or next year or 5 years from now, who the hell knows?
See, I feel like you're a bitter fan when you say things like that.
I'm just tired of it, man. I've heard you say
But
you're
I'm
tired
saying
of
that
it.
you're.
I'm sure it's probably as annoying to Dave as, say Johan Santana didn't have the surgery right off the bat. We would have had to go through the whole season. Is he coming back? Is he not coming back? It's probably like that extreme.
Or like, what if like Jeter's comeback comes,
what if
keeps getting pushed back
Yeah.
and pushed back and pushed back just like it's been so far. He's supposed to play the 5th game of the year. We're 12 games in, 13 games in, and they're still not sure when he's going to come back. And it just,
Listen, when
I
it
love
gets till September and they're still questioning whether or not he'll be there for the postseason, that's when I'll start comparing it to Rose.
No,
Rose is missing an entire year.
Yeah, well, Rose was
Yeah,
expected
but-
to be back at the All-Star break, and then it got pushed back, and then it got pushed back, and then it got pushed back. So,
But
I mean,
in all fairness, you also heard at the beginning of the season that there was a possibility that it wasn't going to be recovered in time for the season. You did hear that at the beginning of the season. I know I did.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
either which way, who cares? Derrick Rose is not playing. That's my mindset. I'm still going to go shell out $200 to go watch the game 2 on Monday
Oh
night.
yeah, congratulations.
Oh,
about that, by the way.
I got to make sure I can get off from work first, but my boss scheduled me for Saturday because he got mad at me because I told him, I'm not going to know until Thursday morning when the Bulls play. I'm like, I'm not going to know. He's like, well, I need you on Saturday night. I'm like, freaking awesome. So, of course, they schedule him Saturday, 8 p.m. Can't make the game. Won't even be able to watch it. By the time I'm done, the game will be over. So I'm going to hopefully get off on Monday, go up to Brooklyn, watch the game. I may be going by myself. I don't even care. I'm that excited about it. But, yeah, you got Bulls Nets. They match up really well. I like Noah and Gibson or Noah and Boozer against Humphreys and Lopez or Who's their other big man they got?
Blatch. Andre Blatch.
Andre Blatch.
Well, listen, the one thing I'd like to say is I think the Bulls have handled the whole Derrick Rose situation extremely well. I mean, the fact that they got the 5 seed right now, and I think everybody kind of thought that they'd be scratching and clawing for the 8th seed without Derrick Rose, I think is a testament to every player on that team, truthfully. And you look at the Nets, and I kind of feel like with the expectations they had on them, they've kind of underachieved a little bit this year. At least Deron Williams and Joe Johnson have. So that's why I really think this is a good situation for the Bulls to be in this whole series. And I think they're going to win it in 6 games, truthfully.
You like Chicago in 6?
I do. I think they've played well the entire season. You know, they've overcome a lot. You know, you mentioned the front court. Noah's been good when he's healthy this year. You know, Gibson has always kind of been the unsung hero on Chicago because he could fill in for both of them so well. Boozer's handled his end pretty well. Dang's been good when he's healthy. Even freaking Nate Robinson's averaged 17 points this season. I can't figure that one out, but I think it's Chicago's time to, at least for this series, they're going to win this one.
Nate's one of those guys that just plays with a chip off his shoulder. What about yourself,
I've never
sir?
been a fan.
What do you see?
I see the Nets in 7.
Wow, there's a
Nets in
reversal.
7? Yeah, I will say one thing. In the East,
And
this series and the Knicks Celtics series are the two. I mean, I know I'm only picking out of 4 series, but those 2 series are 2 that I can see going 7 games.
Yeah.
I actually like Chicago in the series because I don't think the Nets defensively can keep up with them over a 7-game span. And it is sad to admit as a Bulls fan, offensively, I don't think the Bulls can keep up with the Nets as well in 7. But to me, your defense is more reliable to carry over in the playoffs than your offense. So, guys going cold offensively, I expect to happen more than I expect the defense to just stop being a good defense in the playoffs. So that's why I like Chicago. I actually think this series goes 7 as well. But I think Chicago takes it in 7. If somehow they want to surprise, Rose decides he wants to surprise everybody in like game 2 or 3, then maybe it goes 6 games instead. But I think this series goes 7. But I do like the Bulls in this one. So you got Bulls in 6, Nets in 7, Bulls in 7.